friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you an update on my project pan for 2020. I have an item that I have finished off, a few that I am removing from the project, some that I have made progress on, and then I have some new items. That's a lot of areas to cover, so let's go ahead and get started with the one item I have finished. That item is my current setting spray from Too Cool for School. I was here at the last update and I had sort of been having mixed emotions about using this because on the one hand, I really didn't want to quote unquote waste it because while I've been at home, I haven't really needed a super like glue it to your face type of setting spray, but I was really nervous that the pump was going to clog because I've had so many pumps get clogged from the thickness of this setting spray. I ended up just pushing myself to use it. I really do like this setting spray, but it's really hard to come by. I haven't really seen it on too many websites, and I had a lot of packaging problems with this no matter how long it was in a certain package. It ended up clogging the pump, and so for those reasons, I wouldn't repurchase this, but I really did like that this basically made your makeup be glued to your face without it feeling stiff and sucking away the moisture. So it had a lot of pros, but its two cons are too great to overcome. But we now move into phase two, which is the items I am retiring from the project. The first is my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. I'm retiring this item because at this point I don't have a need for this in my routine. I was bringing this in and mixing it into foundations, and that does work well, but the biggest problem I have with that is it really enhances the coverage, and at this time of year I don't love a super heavy face of foundation. I much prefer to have little to no coverage, and I oftentimes in the deep parts of the summer don't even wear foundation. I'll basically put on my regular makeup routine with the exception of no foundation. I'm just very fortunate that I have relatively easy to work with skin, and I'm not really using foundation to cover a lot of problem areas, and so I don't need this right now. Plus I'm not looking to lighten my foundations. I'm at the point where my skin is now dark enough that those match me, so this just isn't needed. I'm sure I'll bring this back in as necessary, but right now it's just not. The other item that I'm retiring and actually decluttering from my collection is the lip gloss product that I brought in. I brought in the Too Faced Lip Injection Glossy, and I put this on. I had such an intense burning feeling. I immediately had to wipe it off, and even then I still felt it. I don't remember it being so intense that it was unbearable. I remember it having a sensation, but I don't know if this is just so old that that sensation has now morphed in a way that tells me the product is no longer good, but either way it wasn't worth the experience, so I'm taking it out of the project and I'm actually going to remove it from my collection entirely. The last product, I'm sure you'll not be surprised to hear that I'm taking out, is my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I'm just not using this. I haven't used it since I brought it in. Really, the year of 2020 has been loving my felt tip liners. I have worked through a number of them and I've enjoyed the ones that I currently have open, so I'm going to keep riding that train. I think the biggest hindrance for me was I didn't have a black eyeshadow, and that's what I like to set these eyeliners with. And with me not wanting to take out 15 different eyeshadow palettes every morning, I didn't want to bring in a black shadow. So this is being retired until I get to a point where I don't have any felt tip liners or I want to feel compelled to pull out a black eyeshadow to use alongside this. Similarly to my camo concealer, I'm also taking out the No. 7 Skin Illuminator Natural Looking Radiance for a Beautiful Glow. This I made a little bit of progress on, but the reality is at this point in the year, I'm not really looking for illuminating or glowy types of primers. I'm looking more for the long haul, stick it into place kinds of primers, because as it gets muggier out, my makeup can slip a little bit more. So for this reason, I'm going to retire this and bring it back probably in like September, October time is when I'll need a primer like this again. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move into the powder products that I have made progress on. I'm really pleased all around with these. The first one that I have is my Balm Desert Bronzer slash Blush. I have really great pan to present to you here. I have this whole section, and then kind of randomly I have this little bit here. I think it's just a matter of, you know, I'm not a machine, so the way I repressed it maybe made it a little bit thinner there. I basically have come in and just swirled my brush is sort of the way that I've been trying to get product. I'm really jazzed about this, and when I look at, you know, like this section over here, it is really starting to like thin out along here, so I can foresee this being the next section to go. It does make me a little nervous to move over to here and still have this ring because I really don't want to repress this. I don't think this will hold up very well to being repressed a second time. So I'm just going to play it by ear and sort of see where this goes, but I really feel positive about the progress on this, and I'm very happy because I've got a lot of other bronzers I need to scrutinize, and I'm just not willing to do that while I have this beautiful gem in my hands. The second powder product that I have in my project is my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. I am, again, very pleased with where this is at. As you guys maybe can recall, I had like a little bit of like a U shape happening with product on the side. So I essentially worked on each half of this, and now I am down to just this area. This is pretty evenly pressed, so I'm gonna keep working this angle here to just kind of go with where it takes me, and hopefully I'll be able to get this finished up soon. You know, I have good intentions and I could theoretically probably use this up in a month, but I'm not somebody who necessarily wants to dictate their eye looks based on their highlighter choice. Usually what I do is I do an eyeshadow look first, and then I pick my blush and highlighter to go along with it. So if I'm not picking a lot of looks that go with this, I'm prone to not use this as much. But even though I'd like to get this finished off sooner rather than later, I'm just not willing to compromise my eyeshadow creativity, I suppose. So happy with this. We'll see where I go in the next month. Lastly is the blush that I have, which is the Benefit Rockateur. I am really happy still with this as well. You can see, I hope you can kind of pick up on it, that the plastic pan is really starting to come through the pattern of it. You can see some of these like really straight lines along here, which is basically a bunch of mini squares, which is what the plastic is. I only know that because I Googled pictures of the pan to kind of see what it was underneath here. I've also sort of widened a little bit the center plastic that's showing. I've really just been swirling my brush around here, not trying to target any particular area, just to pick up color. This is a beautiful blush. I'm really, really happy with it. And I definitely feel like at this rate, I could be on track to get this finished up by the end of this year, which is pretty cool because I've not been only using this blush. I probably pick it up 80% of the time, but I do use other ones and I still make good progress on this. Another item that I have made pretty deep progress on is my Physicians Formula Maru Maru Butter Lip Balm. This thing, it's not cute in here, but you can see compared to the last update that I have a ton of the bottom showing. Yes, I have a lot of product on the sides, but that is 100% intentional. What I did was, as I got deeper down, instead of being able to use my finger to move the product more onto the sides of the pot, I took my tiny beauty spatula and I pressed it that way. I also made the switch from having this be on my vanity and only applying it when I applied makeup to moving it to my nightstand. I finished off my Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, which was on my nightstand, so I've been using this in place of it. I won't lie, this is not an exact dupe to the Laneige, but it's not terrible. I'm actually really surprised how quickly I am going through it. I don't think it's as moisturizing and I probably wouldn't repurchase this, but this is a really big pot of lip balm, so I'm very happy to see so much progress. Next item I have been working on is my Milani Eyeshadow Primer. I was at this point at the last update and now I am down to here, so pretty steady progress as compared to my other updates. I'm in no rush to finish this off. I think that it has lasted an appropriate amount of time for what I paid for it. I am probably going to purchase the CoverGirl one just because I'm very into that idea after this, but this has been great. I definitely think this deserves all the hype that it has received. Another item that I am not considering finished, I'm sure some of you guys would, but I'm just not ready to do it yet. It is my L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in Ferris Nude. This is where I am at with it. You can't even really see a ton of lipstick over the plastic. I don't know why I'm not willing to call this quits. I think the biggest reason is because I can still apply this. My lips don't hit the plastic when I apply it, and I'm still getting product off of here. And I feel like I'm such a completionist that I'm just not willing to call this done until I've leveled off the remaining little nub up here. I think if we weren't in our current stay-at-home situation and I was applying makeup every single day, this would have gotten finished off in the last month. But I went through a time where I wasn't really wearing much makeup, and then I've kind of picked it back up, which I'm very happy about. And I definitely think that it has prolonged the life of this. Let's hope it's just one more month. We'll see. Final item to update you on before moving into the new items I'm bringing in is my Benefit What's Up. This still has a pretty decent amount of product left in here. This is what I'm working with. As a reminder, this is what I'm using as a eyeshadow base. I don't love it as a highlighter. When I look at my progress marks, pretty steady with how I have been able to use this up. This really helps the Cargo Cosmetics palette shadows that I'm using stick onto my lid a lot better. Okay, now let's move into the items that I am bringing into the project. The first is my Essence You Better Work Gym Proof Fixing Spray. I recently picked this up because I only really have hydrating primers left in my collection, and this time of year, with it getting really muggy out, I tend to struggle with makeup slipping off my face. So even though I don't always wear foundation, when I do choose to, I need something like this. I have never used this before, so I have no idea how it's gonna go. Similarly to what was going on with my setting spray, I wanted to bring in a face primer that would better suit this time of year. So I'm bringing in my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I chose to buy the sample size of this because I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. I'm not gonna lie, it is not my favorite texture. It is sort of sticky. I don't really love sticky feeling primers on my face, so I don't think I'd repurchase it, but I am gonna use it because it's kind of the only product like this that I have in my collection. I don't have a ton of this stuff left. I've used it sort of off and on over the last 3 months, so now I'm just gonna see how long it takes to use it when it's exclusively the primer that I am working with. Additionally, to better suit this time of year and because it is past its expiration, I am bringing in my Benefit Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation. This expired in April of this year. The expiration isn't too long ago, and I don't have a ton of product in here left, so I'm gonna try to get this used off as soon as possible. Even though I wanted to finish this off before its expiration, I do like it for this time of year, and so I'm willing to roll the dice, and as long as it doesn't break my skin out or kind of smell funny, I will keep using it. Like I said, not much left in here, so I think by the end of month 2, this should be finished off. And then the last product that I'm bringing in is to replace that awful Too Faced gloss, and it is the Fenty Beauty Glossy Balm in Sweet Mouth. I love the texture of this lip gloss, and it works well with a lot of the eye looks I do, and it pairs well with the current L'Oreal lipsticks. That's all the reasons why I brought this in. I am here at this mark. I have heard people say that they feel like this lasts a really long time. Maybe I'm just super liberal with my lip gloss, but I've never taken this with me. I've only ever kept it on my vanity, so I have gotten that much usage just by wearing it once a day essentially. So I'm not sure how long it would have lasted me if I actually carried it with me, but I really like this stuff. I definitely think that this is one of the best lip gloss formulas that I've tried. To me, it's similar to the effect that I get from Buxom lip glosses, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't necessarily love sometimes how sticky Buxom can be. This is not as sticky as Buxom, and I don't love the like minty peppermint flavoring that comes along with the Buxom. I've tolerated it because I like the glossy look, but this gives me all of that with a nice pleasant bakery scent and not as much stickiness, so I'm very happy to use this. All right guys, that is it for me and this update. I hope that you enjoyed seeing all of my progress. I hope that you are staying sane during these crazy times, and I will talk to you in my next video real soon. Bye.